Everybody has an opinion.
No, I don't think so.
I employ that bloke for when gigs are going badly.
To look incredibly rock and roll.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. I just did a little bit of weed.
I just did a little bit of wee just before this this podcast, episode 1.
My good friend Bev Killick there.
She did.
I can relate.
Talking about wee, one that makes it easier, we are sponsored today by Albert Beer. And when I say sponsored, it means I went down to Swords and bought it. And maybe one day, maybe episode 2, we'll have our own beer sponsor for every episode.
We're very open.
Yes. But this is actually one of my favourite. I went down, spoke to Anthony at Swords at South Melbourne. And I said, we're doing this podcast. It's episode 1. Which beer should I start with? And he looked at me dead in the eye and he said, well, of course, you got to start with the original. And this is the original beer that sort of made me an alcoholic, really. Come down to South Melbourne most Wednesdays and it's a lager. And it's a lager, but it's a Pilsner, which is a type of lager.
Yeah, so what is a Pilsner? What's the difference?
I believe, and please write in if you can correct me, it is a lager that is from the southern German part / Czechoslovakia at the time, or whatever the country was at the time.
So it's a lager with political leanings.
Well, definitely red, definitely communist
Sure.
at one point in time. But
Our beer.
But this is from Tasmania, so yes,
Okay.
a great beer.
Very nice. Thank you.
I almost went Donald Trump there with the water bottle.
It's the best beer. It's a great beer.
Well, more the fact that he couldn't get it in his mouth.
Sure.
Well, thank you, Lily. My name is Morry. I'm the co-host of This Week in Comedy.
That's it. And I'm Lily. I'm also the co-host of This Week in Comedy. And together we're like, what would you say? The Mac and Charlie, the Shrek and Donkey, the...
Yeah, that's us. And someday people will say the Lily and Morry of...
Starsky and Hutch. There's another one.
Yeah.
I'm Hutch. I think you're Starsky.
Okay, good. Moving on, let's talk about a little bit of the first steps, which is this week. This week, what are we talking about?
This week in comedy, we've got This Week in History.
Let's start with that.
Is going to be a segment that we revisit, which is essentially just what's been happening this week historically in comedy, entertainment. So this week in 2006, Borat was released in cinemas.
Very nice.
Which I think changed a lot of, I know for me, I was 16 at that time. Huge comedy movie, right? Sacha Baron Cohen sort of changed the way we looked at mockumentaries, really.
Yep.
And then in 1956, we had HSV 7, which was the first Melbourne broadcast station, and that was ahead of the Commonwealth Games, I believe.
1956?
1956.
That would have been the Olympic Games.
Correct, the Melbourne
Olympic Games.
Olympic
Not the
Games.
Commonwealth Games,
No.
but the Olympic Games. Not that I was alive back then, but I am older than Lily, if anyone's curious.
In case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Olympic Games. My father, little tidbit there, my father was actually at the Olympics. He was a scout, I think at the time, and he was directing people in a certain
okay.
area.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. So that a little bit of news. So every episode will have a little bit of the history.
Bit of comedy history. I'll bring you the comedy history.
Great. Import-export.
Just imports, no exports?
Import-export. So who's coming in, who's going out?
Jimmy Carr, he's coming.
Jimmy Carr is on his way to Melbourne. We've got the 5th of March is when I think he's going to be coming in.
Yep.
He's going to be playing Geelong, and then he's got a little break.
Yeah, a
interesting.
very large break.
Yeah, because he's playing in Melbourne in May. But what happens between March and May in Melbourne, Morry?
I don't know.
That would be the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, I'm assuming.
I think so. And I think if people want to keep a lookout, I reckon we'll spot Jimmy Carr not only around the festival, maybe doing a show, but
Yep.
the Exford Hotel,
Yep.
as you know, great place to go and see big names. I reckon if you keep an eye out, you'll see.
So he's playing in May at the John Cain Arena, which is tens of thousands, 12 or 14,000. And then he's going to be performing at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival at a room probably around hundreds.
Yeah, very intimate probably. And that's a lot of big comedians, as you'd know, like to do those smaller intimate rooms, especially when they go overseas, just to get the feel for what they're about to do. So for comedy fans out there, probably a good one to keep an eye on.
A good watch, and maybe some cheaper tickets with some of those multi-days through the comedy festival.
Multipass.
Yeah.
Oh, multi-bus, yes.
Multipass.
Yeah, fantastic.
New rooms, who dis?
Yeah, who this?
So occasionally we do get new rooms opening up, not just in Melbourne, but all around Australia. And I'd like to focus on a new room every week and just sort of see what it's about, how the stage is, how the room is. I like to go and see them. And this week we are highlighting Moondog in Footscray.
Wild West specifically, because they've got a few. They've got 4, I think.
It's Wild West, I believe. It's the one with
Wild
the bull.
West,
I've
that's
been there
right.
a few times.
Yeah.
I haven't gone on the bull yet, although it is on my list. It is on my list. Fantastic room. It's mainly a professional room. I think there's sometimes one spot that's an up-and-comer, which is great.
That's right.
Bar at the back, low ceilings, light stage. It's just the perfect sort of room for me. Probably about 100 cap, I'd say.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think Katie Wainhouse was the headliner.
Yeah,
for
she was.
the last
Yeah, I missed
Thursday.
that one. Heard great things. Obviously, I went. I know Laura Bruce also was on that one actually,
Laura
and she
was.
said it was a great gig. So yeah.
Yeah, and Angus Young. He plays guitar for AC/DC. Of Angus Gordon, he's a very good comedian. Doesn't probably get enough airtime. Maybe
Sure.
this will help.
That's it.
He's a very good comedian. He's got that nervous anxiety that a lot of great comedians have. Watch this space. Very good.
Absolutely, definitely a great night out. There's also a mechanical bull downstairs.
Yes,
there's a lot of good things at that venue. Huge as well.
it is a great space, and the comedy is above the rest of the bar as well, which is nice. So it keeps it away from the
You
noise.
can sort of have a great show upstairs and then go downstairs and it's kicking off.
That's Moondog in Footscray. So if you're in Melbourne, that's Footscray train station is actually walking distance. So pretty close. And with the new work they've just finished in Footscray, you can drive there from the eastern suburbs pretty quickly too.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Yeah.
So that's one to check out, guys.
Fantastic. Well, that's the new room, Who Dis? But I just want to jump now into Perth. Let's jump all the way to
yes.
Perth. In Perth, they have a competition at the Comedy Lounge. I spoke earlier today with fellow called John McAllister. And if you're not familiar with John McAllister and you're a comedian, you definitely Google that name because he runs comedy in Perth, I would say. Certainly with his room, the Comedy Lounge is one of the most popular. It's about 150-seater.
Yep.
Massive space in the downtown, like it's on the main street of Perth. So
Yeah, beautiful.
I had this interview with him. Let's have a listen. Well, hello there, John McAllister of Perth Comedy Lounge. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Morry.
Very good. Well, I'm very curious to know a little bit more about the Australian Comedian of the Year Awards, which you ran this year, 2025, and I think, was it Andrew Wolf that won?
Yep, yeah, it was. Andrew Wolf won. He won $10,000 cash.
Wow.
And we had so basically the comp split into almost 2 halves, where you've got the amateurs, so I guess the open mic level comedian that may be 1 or 2 years in, and then you've got the pros or semi-pros. So Andrew won that section, and he won 10 grand. And a guy called Mitch Glenn, he won the amateur section. He won $2,000.
Fantastic.
And it'd be the same prize in 2026. But what we may do, we're thinking we might make it $10,000 flight centre voucher or something like that, just because it's harder to put that prize money through the books. It's a little bit difficult. So I think I might do that. But anyway, that's academic.
Yeah, very, very good. So this year, next year, the Australian Comedian of the Year Award starts in January, runs all the way till March. Is that right? Early March?
That's right, yes. So early Jan, around 3rd, 4th, 5th of Jan, whatever that first Friday is in January, and then through till early March. We normally do maybe it's along the lines of 6 heats and then 2 semis and a wild card and then a final. So it's over 9, should we say 9 Fridays. So it works out to be near enough over 3 months. We have a break from the last from the semi-final and the wild card. We have a couple of weeks break to get everyone prepared for the finals.
Fantastic. So it runs from the Perth Fringe through to the Adelaide Fringe, and the award is given just before the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. So I guess the winner, if they are performing at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, could put the award highlight on their poster. grab some more.
Absolutely.
Some kudos.
Yeah, I think that's it does help. I mean, I think Andrew Wolf won, and I think this year, and he's looking to move to the States sort of semi-permanently, I guess, and it's going to help him with his visa because they like, from the American standpoint, they like to see that you've got some, prestige, shall we say. You've won some events or you're professional, so it all goes good for his visa. So that was a good score for him.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, that's amazing. So anyone in Australia can apply. You don't have to be from Perth. You can actually come from outside.
Anyone in Australia.
Yep.
I mean, it might be a little bit ambitious for us to call it Australian Comedian of the Year, but we do encourage. I mean, last year this year we had a fair few acts that were Melbourne and Sydney that just came over for performances at our venue and then happened to hang around for the comp, and they just went in for it. So it worked out well. So it is Australia wide, as much as if you had a few people that you think are good enough, you could recommend them, the same as the Comics Lounge in Melbourne or Good Chat in Brisbane. People that I know and trust, if they recommend someone, I'm sure we could find space for them in the comp. Yeah,
fantastic. And it's the room that you've got is amazing. It's about 150 seater with little tables you can have drinks on, and you run, my understanding is normally it runs from Thursday to Saturday with multiple shows every night.
That's right. Multiple shows on Fridays and Saturdays, and the Gong Show is a Thursday. We've been running that show for many years, and that's a big, hugely successful show that sells out every single Thursday. And that is, as it sounds, it's a gong show. So you actually get 3 minutes. It's pretty brutal. But Corey White is kind of the resident MC for that one, or the resident gong master. I know Corey's a friend of yours, isn't he?
Well, absolutely. If he's not getting in fights in front of my old pub, yes, he's a good friend.
Yes.
And just to wrap up this little brief look at this whip around, I guess we'll call it, for what's happening in Perth. You are, I guess, mentally preparing for the big thing, which is the Perth Fringe Festival, which is in January. Now, I understand you do showcases. That's your bread and butter during the fest?
Pretty much, yeah. We find that's what we do. We just, that's the best way. We've been running those successfully for many years, and that, again, they all sell out. Every single show we put on is always sold out. So, it's a good way of, from a person that perhaps I think it's a nice way to watch comedy in a fringe, or we say a fringe festival or something, is to see these showcase shows where you see 5 or 6 acts. Well, at least you're going to probably like at least, either not all of them, at least 5 or 4 or 5 of the ones. So you've not wasted your money. So I don't know if you've ever been to a show in a festival and you paid pie with your money and thought, this is a nightmare. I cannot possibly sit here for 60 minutes watching this rubbish and leave, so where this way that's not going to happen. You're going to like some of the acts, I can absolutely guarantee it. So it's a good way to get a good hour of comedy under your belt.
And have those acts been confirmed, or if there's a pro comedian listening to this podcast, could they reach out to you?
Absolutely. Anyone emails me if they've got a good track history, or if I know them, then we'll always make space for good acts.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks very much, John. This is the whip around to Perth to see what's happening over there, and we'll be whipping around other cities across Australia to find out what's happening this week in comedy. Thank you, John.
Lovely. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time, Morry. Look forward to seeing you again another time. Take care, mate.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was me earlier today talking to the man John McAllister over in Perth.
Fantastic. It sounds so exciting. The Australian Comedian of the Year, was it?
Yeah, that's right. And driven by Perth.
Yeah.
They are the centre of Australia.
Well, there it is, you know. And there have been some great comedians that have come out of Perth.
There have been, yeah. I think even Rowe, the classic, he was from Perth, didn't he? He came over to Melbourne to make it big. And you mentioned Raw. Raw's very topical because Raw you can apply for Raw. Well, what is Raw? I guess I should say. Raw is the amateur competition. If you've earned, I think it's now up to $800 or $700.
Yeah, something like
Something
that.
around that. Now, if you've earned less than $700 or $800, you can apply.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of money in comedy, so maybe I can apply.
I wonder if they account for losses. you know?
Yeah, very heavy in the minuses.
Although to be fair, it is performing stand-up. So, and you have performed stand-up
I
in the
have.
past, but predominantly you teach.
I even did raw comedy.
You did?
I
What
did.
year was that?
Well, it was 2000 and I'm thinking 2010 maybe.
Whoa,
2009.
really? Wow.
No, sorry, it would have been later than that. 2017.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I was going to say 2009. You were off on your way to China, surely back then.
I was in China at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
that's
you go.
right. So that's raw comedy. Raw comedy is for amateur comedians.
Yep,
Who's-
emerging amateur stand-up comedians, facilitated by the Comedy Festival.
That's right.
I was actually state semi-finalist this year. So,
oh wow.
You know, went through my heats, got pretty far. I think the best thing was I got to perform at the Basement. You were there for
Yeah.
that. Basement is a fantastic venue at Morris House in Melbourne.
That's right.
Very hot room. Again, you're going to hear me talk a lot about low ceilings. They're kind of my thing. I love a low ceiling. Gorgeous space. I didn't make it through, but to be able to perform there is something that not many comedians get to do at this stage. So very cool, very cool.
Oh, I think we'll put a link in for raw comedy in this podcast if you'd like to apply. If you meet all the agenda, I think you also have to be either a permanent resident or an Australian citizen.
Yeah, correct.
As well. So, other than that, if you've earned less than around $700, $800 in performing stand-up comedy, then you're good to go.
Yeah. And if you've earned more, just make a big charitable donation, I think, right now.
Are you saying a bribe, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival?
They wouldn't take
You heard it
bribes,
first
no.
here. No, not at all. That's a good segue for me now to segue to Funny in the Moment.
In the Moment.
I'm trying to get this started up, making everyone have a little memory of Funny in the Moment. That is a moment in your day when you were shopping, maybe at Bunnings, maybe at Coles, maybe at on the street, when you're walking down the street with a dog and you said something funny, or maybe you should have said something funny, that would have just been funny in the moment. And that's the idea. So I was at Bunnings today with my dog,
Luna,
in the top of the cart, so she didn't pee on the screws and bolts, aisle 10. Then I saw a man. He looked like he had dinner on his T-shirt, but I'm suspecting he was a painter.
Okay.
Yeah, so and as I, with the dog, walked up to him, I said, "You've spilled your lunch."
You had to be there.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay.
That was funny in the moment.
Was it funny in the moment?
He was a big man,
Sure.
and we moved quickly after that. But that was me being funny in the moment. If you've got a funny in the moment, do send it through to us, and we'll play it.
And we'll absolutely make a little email, dear listener /viewer. We want to hear from you. I think this is a group experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want more laughs out in the street.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to me. I've always been the type of person, I will always smile at someone when I'm walking past them on the street, right? But I find more and more people avert their eyes and they don't want to have a joke. Like, we're sort of terrible when we go out together because we'll always make friends, right? There'll be someone standing over there, "Oh, what do you do, mate?" But it's just less and less in society now. I think we need to bring more funny back into the streets.
That's it. Okay, well, I think it's time for Tide 5.
Tide 5 with. So this is where we talk to a comedian, a friend of the show, someone who's in the industry for 5 minutes about their experience in comedy and their other shit.
Yeah,
that one up.
And veteran of comedy.
Yeah, and who do we have today?
We have Brad Oakes. I'm just going to tap him through. Brad, are you there?
Hello.
Oh, loud and clear.
Yes.
You're not with Optus.
No. Right, I'm actually right outside the door.
You are? It does sound creepy. Yeah, that breathing reminds me of falling asleep.
Yeah.
you were going to say Darth Vader.
That breathing, that's my natural breathing. The good thing about my breathing is in hospital, they don't have to put me on a monitor. They can just hear me from the nurses' station.
Well, there we go. We can hear you loud and clear. Now, Brad, you're part of our comedy of the week. This is episode 1, but you're also part of comedy in general in Australia. You are, 36-year veteran of comedy.
Sure am.
You are. That I can't count backwards enough, but that was the 80s, wasn't it?
1989 I started, May 1989.
Fantastic. And and of course, I know you very personally because I work with you with Hard Knock Knocks Comedy School. So just a little bit of...
just a little pluggeroo.
Yeah, we're in the teacher's lounge right now.
We are. And The brick wall might remind you of the hard knocks.
I can't see a wall. I'm on the phone.
Very good. Well, there is a wall behind us, Brad. Anyway, I won't
Paint the picture for you.
Yeah, it's a brick wall.
Okay. Is it the knocks? The backdrop?
It's not quite.
We just used to scrape off.
That's right. Actually, the Labor Party came and washed off the graffiti, and they're trying to clean up Melbourne. That and machetes.
I was going to say, didn't you find this in a machete bin? Or?
Very good. Well, Brad, we've got you on the line because this is all about dealing with an experienced comedian, someone like yourself. And quick question: you've been gigging recently. What's one of the recent gigs you've been performing at?
Well, I did a gig in Footscray at Moondog, the Wild West.
Hey, there we go.
And I said the Footscray because this I don't know if you know about this gig, but it's in the old Franco Cozzo showroom.
Yeah.
Which is immense. I had no idea. God, he must have sold a lot of couches.
He did. But I believe they put a mezzanine in. So originally the 2 floors were solid floors, and now there's a mezzanine. So, yeah, that's incredible. They dug through concrete. He's Italian, so digging, attaching
Undoing
yourself to
his own
concrete.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
Mamma mia.
Imagine the bodies they found in the concrete.
Yeah, all the dudes who were on smoko too long when they were building it.
Yeah.
It's yes, it was. So it's a relatively new gig, and it's the guy running it, Johnny Quinn. He's making an absolute ball terror of an effort. Like they're going to really, even though it's this kind of great big open venue, they've got this dedicated room that we did the comedy in, and it was a bit of fun, and had a couple of beers.
Now you're regularly on tour with Dave O'Neill. I'm just name dropping here.
Oh yes,
have you got?
I feel like Dave's caddy.
Yeah. Are you? Are we going to hear you in another podcast shortly?
I fairly regularly do a podcast with Dave. Well, I'm invited onto his podcast, The Debrief. We did that special one to the slippery
water
slope.
slide. Yeah, tell us about that.
So that was when Dave and I were on tour in Mount Isa in Queensland last year. This woman who was showing us around from the council just casually mentioned that they had a water slide, an outdoor water slide, but they were lucky to have it because it got made in Turkey, and it was transshipped to Australia, but it was stolen by pirates. Somalian pirates, they said, although I have my doubts. But anyway, Dave and I just thought this is an incredible story. So we had to track it down. And so we did a 4-episode podcast about that. But I've just started doing, it's still up, Slippery Slope, and it's quite funny.
Slippery Slope, yeah?
Yep.
We did it as a true crime because I had this theory, like, I don't know if you know this, but I used to live in the Docklands, and people don't know there's a lot of crime there, and it's hard to get the police to turn up. There was a murder there in my street, and the cops didn't come, but 3 podcasts turned up. So they got on the job straight away. But that kind of segues nicely into I've just started a podcast. It's about to be released called Fool Me Twice with Steve Van Appen, which is Steve's a lying expert.
Oh, I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Yeah. Well,
Thought I was going another way.
He's however you form the sentence. If I say expert lying, that sounds bad as well. But he's an ex copper, and he's FBI trained. You see him on all these TV shows. But he's more than that. He's a consultant to businesses about lying and deceit. And we just kind of joined up to do this podcast because he knows so much about lying, and it must have been just a little bit of a hobby of mine.
Yeah, I can imagine. Being a stand-up comedian, you're lying regularly on stage.
Oh, lying so much. Like, lying to other comedians. How did that corporate gig go? Oh, great.
Very good.
Bullshit.
You're probably lying about being on the telephone right now.
There's a very good chance.
Yeah. A quick one. So you said that Turkey makes the most water slides in the world. They're like the center of water slide construction.
One of the reasons why they're made there is apparently the conditions, like weather, etc., are perfect for fiberglass. And yeah, it's so that, and I think Turkey leads the world in hair replacement.
Yes.
I was going to ask that. Was it so many men with wigs going down the slides and they're like, we've got to have another industry. We've got to solve this problem.
Well, I'd imagine when they go over on Turkish hairlines to get their hair done, there must be much like a machete bin, a wig bin where you relinquish it, and they're all made of plastic, so they melt it down to make the slides.
that's
you
what-
understand? This must be what they're doing.
That's what fiberglass is. It's men's fake
men's
hair.
toupees and maybe a few merkins thrown in there for good measure.
And that's incredible that if they were making the new hair out of fiberglass, so you could be in the stiffest wind and people would go, your hair's not moving.
I know somebody whose hair looks like it's made of fiberglass. We all do. We all know this person.
Well, I'll tell you a very interesting story about fake hair that was told to me by another comedian, Michael Connell, who said that his mother was a volunteer at Hillsville Sanctuary, and they have raptors, they have birds of prey there that do demonstrations where somebody will put on the gauntlet and put a bit of chopped steak on their finger, and the bird may deign to fly 20 metres down and take the meat if it feels like it. Apparently they're quite princessy. However, for some reason, these birds can spot a wig from anywhere, and it must be something to do with their eyesight. And so what will happen is a bird will be sitting there nonchalantly cleaning its talons and then spot a wig on some guy and just go, that has to go. And they will swoop down and grab the wig and fly off. And these guys don't even, like, their wives and children don't even know that they've got a weave, right? They've got a wig until this bird seems to fly down and scalp them.
Yeah.
Right? And he told me this story, and I just pissed myself laughing. I thought, because I've been to Hillsville Sanctuary, there's no warning on the gate.
Well, I guess it looks like a ringtail possum.
Yeah, what it probably is it looks like something that shouldn't be there, but also maybe would go very well in a nest.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's a little bit of a rug.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Brad, thank you very much. It's a good shout out to your podcasts.
Yeah, cheers.
Plural.
Sorry, it's called Fool Me Twice, just based on that saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And we're over the months, we're going to be looking at lies.
Fantastic.
Right.
Lying. Alrighty.
My favourite hobbies.
Right. I'm going to get off this hot phone.
Yeah.
I think someone's trying to get on the internet.
Very good. Thanks, Brad. That was Brad Oakes, amazing comedian and
Friend of the show.
and lies for a living. Yeah. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
I think yes, he's the friend
Our
of the
only
show.
friend.
Currently, do subscribe. Click and subscribe. What do they say?
Please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Share.
Fantastic. I say fantastic far too much.
Yes,
we
you
are
do.
going to wrap up now with
Registrations have just opened. In fact, I think are almost closing for Comedy Festival. That's how quickly it comes up every
that's the
year.
Melbourne.
That's the
International
Melbourne International Comedy
Festival.
Festival.
Sometimes we get a little bit too Melbourne centric.
Yeah, that's very true. Melbourne is a big hub of comedy, but it does happen elsewhere, so I've been told. And so we're going to discover. But registrations are now open, and we've got quite a big year coming up, don't we, Moz?
Oh, 2026 is going to be amazing. So I'll be, and with your support, and you'll be running your own shows, I believe.
I sure
Girls Just Want to Have Puns.
They sure do. Girls just want to have puns, yep.
That'd be great. And that will be probably, most likely, 99% of the chance that it will be at the Crown Plaza. That is on the other side, on the CBD side of the Yarra, not the casino, but the Crown Plaza.
Yeah,
used to be called the World Trade Center, but somehow that name got dirtied.
Don't know what happened to that.
muddied.
Perfectly good name.
Yeah, there was one moment and then it wasn't.
Probably around 2001.
Yeah, it could have been then.
Yeah,
so
sure.
now it's called the Crown Plaza, and downstairs there's a beautiful space for there's 3 rooms that we'll be using for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Now I've got potentially 2 American comedians coming over.
Yes.
Yeah, one is Arvin Kwai. He's an Asian American comedian. Has certain reason I mention that is because some of his comedy does relate to that quite appropriately. He's very funny, a little bit dark. My personality, my style. And the other is Scott Dickers, and Scott is one of the original owners of The Onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the satire newspaper, and also the longest-serving chief editor of The Onion. That's the American newspaper. It was physically a newspaper. I actually read it when I was in the US. And, of course, it's online now and video and in various forms. So he's going to come out and hopefully tell us all about satire and how it's basically saving democracy.
Huge topic.
Yeah. So that's a massive one. That'll be a daytime conference called The Business of Comedy.
Hey, it's going to be a big one. The first one.
It'll be the first one, but not the first Melbourne International Comedy Festival for me. I think we're going into 5.
5 years for you?
5, yeah, I've done 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think this is my 3rd or 4th year going in, so...
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you very much for listening to This Week in Comedy. More to come.
Thank you, guys. We'll definitely be around every week, and every week we're going to have a different sponsored beer as well. I'm about to crack open my second one, so if you are a local brewery, beer company, or any sort of debaucherous alcoholic, do let us know. We're very interested in your business.
I don't think so.
Thank you.
Enjoy that bloke
This
when
Week in
gigs are
Comedy.
going
To
badly.
look incredibly rock and roll.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. I just did a little bit of weed.